Now, as I'm taking this walk right now in Kyoto, Japan, obviously I know that the lighting isn't the best, but there's something I wanted to talk about, and it's something that almost every single successful entrepreneur agrees upon, and that is that you become what you think about. Now, I know what you might be thinking, because I've thought the same thing, which is a few different thoughts possibly. This is cliche, I've heard this thing time and time again before and it doesn't work. Or it might be that, yes, this is something that I actually live by and I believe in it heavily and it just hasn't necessarily worked out for me. Or it is something that you tried out and it has worked out. Whatever the reason might be, it's something that almost every single successful person agrees upon, that your thoughts become your reality. And to be completely honest, it's almost a topic that sometimes I don't even necessarily want to speak on or talk about, just because so many people, I believe, now think it's cliche or it's watered down because it used to be a trendy topic, especially around 2013, 2014 era. Now, it's still a very trendy topic and a lot of people still talk about it and a lot of people expand on it on YouTube and things like that. But I feel like a lot of people that I've known over the years that have grown into other things within the field of business don't necessarily talk about it, or they believe it doesn't work. But the fact is that at some point they planted a seed within their mind years ago, and now they're reaping the rewards of it if they are successful. And now they believe that it must have been some other reason. And yes, there is other reasons of why they might be successful, but it all started with a thought first. And yes, to be honest, it's one of the simplest topics that a person can possibly discuss, but it's also something that I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily do, especially if you look at the entire attitude of the world overall. It's in a state of antagonism or almost fear or being a victim, right? And that is not the seeds that you want to necessarily plant. Many successful entrepreneurs today might agree or disagree with the fact that this is something that works. But again, the people that disagree with it, I say this time and time again because this was something that was trending a long time ago. When they were doing it, they were planting the seeds in their mind. They water those seeds throughout the years, and now they're able to harvest. Whatever they sowed, they are currently reaping the rewards of that right now. So stay till the end of this very short video because I'll give you some very basic tips on what you can do to start pulling things and planting the seeds in your mind that you need to plant, so that way you can go ahead and reap the rewards of it later on in life. Even for me currently right now, I'm in Kyoto, Japan, and I know that at some point, and I remember vividly, at some point, I wanted to be in a place like this. I don't live here or anything like that. I just wanted to travel here and be able to move around and be able to make money digitally somehow, passively somehow, and give myself financial freedom, time freedom to be able to do these types of things. And now I am able to. But that didn't happen just by sheer luck. I know that I planted the seed somewhere within my mind to go ahead and attract this into my life. Now, again, the word attract might be cringe or cliche for people, but that's technically what it is. Now, let's take a look at why every single successful person believes this, whether they know that they're doing it or not. Just think of your favorite influencer. Think of your favorite guru or whoever it is that's online that you watch, and notice how they talk about themselves, how they carry themselves. What is their self-image of themselves? What are the things that they tell themselves, and how they talk about how everybody else has this faulty image of themselves when they have the godly image. Well, that's how they talk about themselves. They have planted those seeds within their mind to create the self-image that is now being portrayed into the real world. Very seldom do you ever hear them talk negatively about themselves. Sure, they might share their success stories and their struggle stories with you before they became successful, and this is why they have an iron mind. But even listen to that. I have this iron mind, I have this rhino skin, I have all these things that I've overcome. And now they're this gladiator or warrior, which hats off to them. I have my own struggle stories, as do you. And you're currently going through it right now, potentially. And there's ways to change that. And I'll go ahead and share those tips with you at the end of this video. But just look at what they are telling themselves. Remember, the concept or the idea or what is factual is you become what you think about. Okay? Really pay attention to those words there. You become what you think about. It's not you get what you think about, you become what you think about. So when you think of the person that you want to be, the self-image that you have in your mind of the person that you want to be, or all these material things that you want, Well, in order for you to have those material things, you have to be a certain person to wield those material things. So your thoughts become those things. You become what you think about. So your self-image is what's shaping you to become the person that you want to be. So if you're saying you want to be a multimillionaire, you want to drive all the fancy cars, or maybe you just want a, comfortable life, comfy lifestyle, you want a nice home with kids, that is the image that you're basically holding within your mind. And because you planted that seed, you sowed it, at some point in life, it'll grow if you water it, and you'll be able to reap the rewards of that harvest. Now let's look at the flip side. Because maybe you're thinking, well, there's plenty of people that are successful and they're not happy. I'm not talking about happiness, okay? I'm talking about becoming what you think about. Well, here's the thing. At some point, if they had the same struggle story, if they had all those kind of things, just like we all do, then they planted the seed at some point to become successful. But there's something that happens with business owners and successful people, and this has happened to me before. I stopped being grateful for the fact of where I came from. I stopped thinking in the terms of I become what I think about. And I look at all these different responsibilities on my plate. I'm like, holy shit, all these things I need to handle. It sucks. Like, why isn't this person doing X, Y, Z? And that's the energy that I'm basically going ahead and putting out. And that's what ends up happening. The person ends up having all this money, but they're always stressed out all the time. They're always in a constant state of anxiety and worry, trying to keep up with X, Y, Z. Their overall quality of life is just terrible. And they become a very hardened person, which there's a lot of things in life that can make you hardened. You can still be the person that you want to be. You can still be a person of responsibility. You can still be everything that you want in life. But what happens with these people is they start to have a specific type of energy because that's what they see other people also having. And they forget this is what they had asked for. They're literally living the life that they wanted, but now it's too much. And they complain about it rather than being grateful for it. So guess what? What's the only thing that could basically manifest more into their life? More worry, more anxiety, more stress, all the things that they don't necessarily want because they forget that's what they basically wanted in the first place. And I have been victim to this myself. Sometimes I have to stop and realize, holy crap, I'm literally living some of the things that I said that I always wanted. I can't be a person that complains about this. I need to sit here and be grateful for this. So I stop in time and space for a second, and I'm just like, whoa, like I wrote this thing down years ago, and now I'm living it. Again, as cliche and cheesy as that might sound, it is the simple truth. You become what you think about. The thoughts that you have in your mind on the person that you want to be, go ahead, set that out. Well, Prince, I've tried this before many, many times and it just doesn't work. I've tried to think of the person that I want to become. I try to do this idea of thoughts becoming things, but for some reason, it's just not working for me. I've tried it for years and it doesn't work. Or maybe you're sitting there and you say that I have some level of success, but for whatever reason, I revert back. I don't know why that keeps happening to me. Or I continuously try to think in the ways that I want, but then I have this physical reality that's stopping me from thinking in those ways because I can't physically see the thing that's supposed to be happening. So a lot of that has to do with your subconscious mind. And that is because your subconscious mind is the barrier. It's the thing that has accumulated all the life lessons over the years and has been put into this box on how you actually operate, on what your behaviors are, on what your habits are, what the patterns are. So even if you're trying to break out of certain patterns, for whatever reason, you somehow revert back. No matter how many times you try to think of the thing that you want, you look at your physical reality and you just can't, which makes sense. That's the logical side of your brain. That's your conscious mind telling you, hey, you're not where you want to be, which is a totally valid way to think. But just because your physical reality is showing you, your conscious mind is picking up on that physical reality, showing you that you're not where you want to be, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't control what you think about. You can still control those things. But why does it go from being able to think of the things that you want back to all the things that you don't want to think about? Again, it goes to subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind holds the keys to your behaviors and patterns that you've been experiencing over and over and over again. The reason why you keep trying to do things and you revert back from doing those specific actions that have wielded some level of success is because your subconscious mind can either be aiding you, or it could be the prison that you don't even know that you're stuck in. Now, this topic of the subconscious mind is a lot deeper, and it's something that needs to be discussed a whole lot more. So if you want me to make a much more in-depth video on that, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But what are the things that you could do right now? What are some actionable steps that you can do right now to, one, start moving the needle forward to becoming who you want, and to start reprogramming your subconscious mind, so that way anytime there is a negative thought that comes into play, you can go ahead and shift that. And it is one of the most simplest steps that I have done over the years, and I stopped doing them. I stopped doing them because, again, I started to think that it was cliche, that it didn't work. But that what I realized was this, that years later, even though I had stopped, I was operating off those things that I was writing down over and over and over again. And that's basically what I'm telling you to do. This is something that can help you, which is writing down your goals as if you already have them in the present tense. Write out the date, write out all the different things that you want, but write it in the present tense as if you already have them. I am a millionaire. I am a business mogul. I am driving my Lamborghini, if that's what you want. I am traveling the world without a worry of money. Whatever it is that you want, write it in the present tense and do it every single morning and every single night. And when you're writing it, have no distractions whatsoever, and set out the clear intention and the feeling out there that you already have it. And I know that it's gonna seem like at first that it's not really doing anything for you. You're just writing things down. Well, again, you become what you think about. So once you have the thought in your mind, once you write down every single day all the things that you want to be in the present tense, as if you're already doing it, as if you're already there, every single day, start acting as if you're that person. Start doing the things that that person would do. Because here's the biggest thing. The greatest value isn't what you get. The greatest value is what you become. Now remember that. The greatest value is what you become, because if you become the person that you're seeing here, your self-image, the millionaire, the person that's driving that car, the person that has those businesses, and you start doing the actions that you're supposed to do to become that person, or as if you are already that person, then by default, it's gonna happen. Just think of the logic there. Really think of it from a logical point of view. You're writing down all the things that you are already, obviously in the present tense, the things that you want in the present tense, right? That sets up the clear intention of the person that you want to become. Then you write down the things that you need to do as if you were already that person, and you start doing them. How's that not gonna push the needle forward on helping you get the things that you actually want in your life and becoming that person that you see in your mind? Think of it from a logical point of view, okay? Not some fairy tale thing, not some magical thing. Think of it from a very analytical, conscious, logical point of view. So that is my task for you. Write it down every single day. Read it to yourself with intention on who you want to become or who you already are. Write down the things that you need to do to become that person, and then start doing it. Hopefully that video was insightful for you. Remember, you're not that far, so just keep going. And listen, no matter what you're going through, whether you're a business owner, whether you're somebody that's just starting off in their career, whether you're just somebody that's starting within the field of business, whether you've had failed businesses, whatever it is, I promise you, this time will pass. And all you need to do is reprogram yourself to be the person that you want to become.